I had an idea to make a channel point reward for my Twitch stream that was the Arc Raiders death screen, but then have like a different quote and maybe like the name of the user that redeems. It would be something like this. So I'm going to record the process of making everything. I've basically made all of the assets already, which I'll make available to you. And then you guys can follow along with the steps and make your own. So I'm going to start in OBS, and I've already kind of set some of this stuff up. So the arc text that's going to be in the middle, I copied the reference that I have. So I just like screen grabbed a reference. So here's what it looks like. I took a screenshot of the text off of a VOD and I put it into ChatGPT and was like, hey, what is this text? Like, what's this font? And it told me that it's SF Pro. So if you guys want the font, it's called SF Pro. I found it on Google. Just search SF Pro. I think the one that I'm using is called SF Pro Display. Anyways, I went ahead and lined it up and it's pretty much there. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending info from StreamerBot to change the GDI text. So you want to make sure that the transform is set correctly. So I'm going to right click in here, go to transform, edit transform. This is what I've set up to work. If you want to copy these and that, put it in, and just to make sure when you go into properties of your text, I type this in just to make it work. But the font is SF Pro Display. I think it was regular. Something's going on with OBS with like custom fonts to where like some of them aren't working. So regular and medium actually look the same. And I set it to 256. It was just like by default. And then I used the transform to put it where I want to. So no matter what text I put in here, it's going to fit in this bar. And actually what I want to do is I want to make the bounding box size a lot smaller on the width because I don't want it to go past those bars. 900? Yeah, so now it won't go past the bars. Okay, so again, I'll show you this one more time. You can take a screenshot or just pause the video. Now the bounding box size is 900 by 31.5. So no matter what I put in here, it's going to stay within these bounds. And even if I kept adding, once it got to a point, it would stop and it would start getting smaller this way. But we're not going to have anything that goes that far. And I'll explain why here in a second. Okay, so you can go ahead and turn off the reference. I have also, because of the video, and I'll show you here what I did with the video background. What I've done here is I have set the hide transition to fade, and it's going to be 4,000 milliseconds, and then show transition is going to be fade, and it's 2,000 milliseconds. One more thing, this is all in a nested scene. This is at my actual stream setup right now. This is in a nested scene I call memes, and the memes is in a nested scene called overlays, and my overlays scene on my just chatting or my game scene, really on any of my scenes, it's a nested scene that sits on top of everything. So when I play this video, it's going to cover everything on my screen, and nothing else is going to be on top of it, not even alerts or anything like that. So before we get out of OBS, I have a media source here that I use for this type of thing already. And what we're going to do from StreamerBot is we're going to change the media source when the reward is activated, when the action happens, before we turn it on. And then that's how the thing is going to start. So now we're in StreamerBot. I'm going to go to actions and queues, actions, and we're just going to start from scratch. We'll call this one, we'll put this one in channel points. So I'm going to call this one Arc Raiders Death. All right, this is in channel points, and I'm going to put, I have just like a general blocking queue for like channel points and memes and stuff like that. and all of that else. Other stuff is not important for me. We're going to just go ahead and make a test trigger. And then let's start making the channel point. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and grab the information from Twitch for the user. So we're going to get info for target, get user info for target. That's right here. And then I'm just going to do like user is fine. We're going to change the media source. So we go to add OBS Studio sources and then set media source file. Okay, and then we're going to go to the memes nested scene, like I said, and then the meme media source. And then we're going to find the file, Arc Raiders. And I made this one. It's just Arc Raiders Death Screen WebM. Hit OK. And then we're going to play the sound and turn the media source to visible. So we're going to go to add core. And I have a folder of sounds. So there's 7 different sounds that you can choose from. So what we're going to do, and I'll make all of these available for you. We're going to play sound from folder. And then we're going to go in here, and it is in my stream sound effects. And this is the folder, Arc Raiders Death. Right? And then when you test it, sounds about right. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn that media source on, as well as the text source. OBS Studio, sources, set source visibility state. And we're going to do memes, meme, visible. Right? And then let's go ahead and make the text source visible. OBS, sources, set source visibility. Again, the meme, and then this one's called arc text. So all of that's going to happen at once, and then we're going to delay by 10 seconds, 10,000 milliseconds, because that's how long the video is. And then we're just going to hide this stuff. Just like we can duplicate these. Control D does that as well, and then we're just going to hide all of it. Bam. Okay. And then save. Always save. This isn't everything just yet, but we are going to test it to see what it looks like. All right. So I'm going to move this out of the way and hit the test button. Okay. One thing that I forgot is that the video fades out after 5 seconds. So I need to do 5 seconds, and then I need to fade out the arc text, and then we can duplicate this and put that one after that too, so that it all works out. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay, so now let's try it again. Test trigger. So the text started fading out a little bit sooner. So I'm going to do 6 seconds, and then 4 right there. It just needs to equal 10 seconds or 10,000 milliseconds. Let's try it again. One thing that I would change is I would change the way the text comes in a little bit early. So I'm going to add another delay right here. Let's do 500 milliseconds to start and see if that works out. The fade works pretty good. I'm going to actually change the fade a little bit on the text because the hide transition, I feel like it could go a little bit faster right there on the fade. And then maybe on the fade in, make it take a little bit longer. These are like little adjustments. Yeah, that's closer, I think. Let's make this start a little bit earlier. And then I think this could still be like, let's try 1 second. Let's just try that and see what happens. Hey, I kind of like that. Okay, and now because I've added another 500 milliseconds, I need to go in here and do that as well. Okay, take it away from that. So now it should be a little bit better, I think. Yeah, that looks like it's all fading at the same time now. So the next thing, or it doesn't have to be the next thing, it could be the thing before the thing. I'm going to create a text file of a bunch of different quotes and things to say. And so one of the challenges of doing something like this, I'm going to use AI to come up with all these things. I'm going to feed some of the existing Arc Raiders quotes to ChatGPT, give them an idea of what I'm trying to do, and it should give me back a bunch of different versions that will work for me. So first, I'm just going to tell it what I'm doing. So I'm creating a channel point reward that mimics the death screen on Arc Raiders. What should I say? It contains a quote or some sort of motto or saying in the center of the screen, and I want to come up with a bunch of different variations that would include the name of the user who redeems the channel point reward. Here are some examples of the quotes you see in the game. Okay, and then I'm going to find some quotes really quick.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I found a few. Only one of them was like a quote and had like a name after it, which I think I kind of want to do like at least half of them that way, where it like includes the user's name. I'm not 100% sure, like this may, transform over time as people use it and as I figure out what I like and what I don't like. But for right now, I'm going to try to just use these and then see if ChatGPT comes up with something cool. One thing I want to make sure of is that it's not going outside the bounds of the bounding box. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to type like a bunch of letters. Like D's are pretty big. And I want to see how many characters I want to use. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
2,000 years later.
So 50. So I want it to be 50 characters or less. Can you give me 100 different quotes or mottos or funny lines that are 50 characters or less and mix together actual quotes with included user at the end with just regular lines? I don't know if this is going to work. I mean, it will try. ChatGPT will never not give you an answer. It is made to please you. Okay. These aren't too bad. Okay, so if it's in quotations, the idea was to follow it with user. Okay, I can deal with these. These are okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and copy these. And you can, I can change them later. So I'm going to open up Notepad and I'm going to create a new one. You can see I've already done, like my Discord message is a randomized AI thing. I'm just going to paste these in. Let's get rid of the space. And so I asked it to give me the parenthesis or the %user variable because I'm going to be using that in StreamerBot. So let's go ahead and save this. We'll save this where I save all my things. I have like a stream stuff folder with all of my different, oh my gosh, with all of my different text files for streaming. Arc Raiders, death, channel, point. And then let's go back to StreamerBot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to right click and I'm going to add core file IO read random line from file. And I'm going to pick the file that I just created. All right, Arc Raiders, death, channel point. We're going to parse the variables because there is a variable inside the text of the file. And I'm going to need to use that as a variable. So there's a variable within the variable, and then I'm going to need to put that out in a GDI text form. So that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to put that up at the top after the Twitch ad target info for user. And then I'm going to really leave everything the same. All I have to do now is add the OBS Studio sources set GDI text. And now we're going to pick the text, right, which is the arc text. And then I'm going to use the random line variable, hit OK, and now let's test it. Okay, so the issue here is that there weren't any arguments passed because I used this test. Now what you could do, two things you could do for this is you could go ahead and just add the channel point, which I will right now. So we go into, what is it? Twitch, channel reward, reward redemption, create reward. And we'll call this back to Speranza. Yeah, that's the right spelling. I was just making sure I spelled it right. And then we'll put it in caps because I do that for all my stuff. Back to Speranza, right? It's enabled right now. I always give all my channel points a certain color to make it clean. No user input required. You could, instead of doing the ChatGPT thing, you could set it up to where you use the user input as the quote. And you would just have to, kind of hope that they don't give you like a whole paragraph. You can't really control what they put in there. It could be up to 500 characters, or close to it. So that's up to you. And that could be like a fun little thing to do. We'll make it like 300 channel points. Global cooldown, we'll make it 60 seconds. Yeah, it's fine. I like to persist user counter almost all the time in case I ever want to count it. And then hit OK. And then I can test this, right? So if I test this one. Okay, all right, let's try it again. All right, well, I hope that was helpful. Like I said, all of the assets that I've created are going to be available to you. If you guys have any questions or comments, just leave them below, or you can join my Discord, which is also in the links. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye, have a great time.